I've got to be extremely honest, and my low buy year is not going the way that I thought it would or hoped it would. So as the title of this video predicts, here's another book haul. Hi and welcome back my fellow fantasy book lovers, or if you're new here, hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Kathy and I'm a fantasy book lover from Belgium. For today's video, I have a book haul that consists of two parts. One part is me going to Facts Convention, working there and then walking on the con floor and seeing pretty books that I could not resist. And then also a friend of mine was selling books secondhand at a very, very cheap price, so I could not resist and I got a few of those. So let's dig in. So I'm going to start with the second-hand books. There are 4 of them. I paid €3 each, which is insane. These are all in pretty good condition. 2 of them seem unread. The only book that seems read is this one. It is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. Now, I did start reading the Temeraire series by Naomi Novik and I'm really enjoying it, except for it's a bit war and naval themed heavy. So Uprooted apparently is more fairy fantasy by them. So I'm very curious to see what it is about. So it says, a dark enchantment blights the lands. Agnieszka loves her village, set deep in a peaceful valley, but the nearby enchanted forest casts a shadow over her home. Many have been lost to the wood and none return unchanged. The villagers depend on an ageless wizard, the dragon, to protect them from the forest's dark magic. However, his help comes at a terrible price. A young village woman must serve him for 10 years, leaving all she values behind. Agnieszka fears her dearest friend Kasia will be picked at the next choosing, for she's everything Agnieszka is not. Beautiful, graceful and brave. Yet when the dragon comes, it's not Kasia he takes. It's giving me a similar vibe to a few other books that I've already read. In Bitterthorn, you also have this village with a forest and then with a witch in a castle. In Servant of Earth by Sarah Hawley, there is a similar setup where multiple young women are sent to the Fey realm. And then of course there's also the Elise Kova novel that I cannot remember the title of, where this one girl has the power to save the entire other realm. So this feels a bit similar to that, like the chosen one trope. We'll see how I like it whenever I get to it. This is not very high on my TBR, unfortunately. I just have so many books that it's very difficult for me to pick what I will read next. Up next, we have another V.E. Schwab book. My partner has read The Darker Shades of Magic. I really want to read them, but somehow haven't gotten to them yet. But this apparently is a standalone or the first book in a series. And it is called This Savage Song. Kate Harker and August Flynn are the heirs to a divided city. A grisly metropolis where the violence has begun to create real and deadly monsters. All Kate wants is to be as ruthless as her father, who lets the monsters roam free and makes the inhabitants pay for his protection. August just wants to be human, as good-hearted as his own father, but his curse is to be what the humans fear. The thin truce that keeps the Harper and Flynn families at peace is crumbling, and an assassination attempt forces Kate and August into a tenuous alliance. But how long will they survive in a city where no one is safe and the monsters are real? This actually sounds like something I will really enjoy, so who knows, hopefully soon. Then we have a book that is the start of a series. It is called 3 Dark Crowns by Kendra Blake. In every generation on the island of Fenburn, a set of triplets is born. 3 queens, all equal heirs to the crown, all possessed of a coveted magic. So this is like really heavily magic based. We'll see if I get to it. Honestly, I'm not sure I'm gonna keep all of these books in the long run. Maybe if I read them, that I will get rid of them if I like them or not. And then the final book, this one spoke to me just from the cover alone, and then I started reading the synopsis and was like, up my alley. It is called Godblind. The Red Gods Are Rising by Anna Steffens. There was a time when the Red Gods ruled the land. The Dark Lady and her horde dealt in death and blood and fire. That time has long since passed, and the neighboring kingdoms of Mireses and Rilpor hold an uneasy truce. The only bloodshed confined to the border, where vigilantes known as wolves protect their kin and territory at any cost. But after the death of his wife, King Rastot is plagued by grief, leaving the kingdom of Rilpor vulnerable. Vulnerable to the bloodthirsty greed of the warrior king Liris, the Dark Lady, High Priestess Lanta, and their armies in the mountains. So this is being compared to Joe Abercrombie and George R.R. Martin. So this sounds like a darker, more high epic fantasy. We'll see. And finally, we have the 3 pretty hardcovers that I bought at Facts. 2 of them are parts of a series that I either have or haven't started. But let's start with a book that I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep because I saw the spray painted edge with the clockwork and the suns and everything. And the way that I was sold this book, or the way that I took this book with me, was a little bit the Circus vibes, with then dark and haunting creatures and like a little bit of magic and mystery. However, it is maybe not what I hoped it would be, and I also read some pretty terrible reviews on it online. This book does not have great reviews, and there's a lot of them. Whenever I look up a book, I will always look at some very high reviews and then at some very low ones to kind of see like what people are loving and what they are hating. And apparently the smut is the best part of this book, which doesn't say a lot. Come for the show, stay for the magic. Enter at your own risk and discover the greatest show unearthed in this explosive, darkly imaginative debut fantasy. For humans, the circus is a place filled with wonder and amazement. For Harrow, though, it's a place to hide from those who slaughtered her entire clan. Disguising her abilities as a part of her act has kept her true identity safe for years. Until he arrives. A strange new attraction with no name, no memory of who or even what he is, let alone an explanation for his odd yet deadly powers. But beneath the layers of anger and isolation, one glimpse into his inky eyes reveals a soul that calls out to the loneliness in her own. And so she chooses him. Harrow is drawn to the darkness, to her insatiable need to soothe the beast who threatens their very existence. But with every secret she unlocks from his past, another from hers whispers free as well, luring elements who will stop at nothing to get their final revenge on Harrow. And she's afraid she's given them the perfect weapon against her, because he's not what he seems. But maybe it's time they finally learn neither is she. So this sounds very promising, but the reviews are very bad. So we'll see if and when I read it. It sounds a little bit like Night Circus. Not that I've read Night Circus. It also sounds like whenever I was young, there was this like circus with a vampire in it, and then a young boy is like taken in by the vampire. I'm not sure of the name of that series anymore, but I used to love it as a kid. So maybe this will have those vibes, but I just hope it is at least half decently written, and otherwise I will probably sell this book. The second to last book is The Rebel Witch, which is the second part to the Crimson Moth. I have not read the Crimson Moth yet everyone I know who knows my reading tells me I'm gonna love it, so that's why I got the second book. I cannot tell you too much about it because I haven't read book 1 yet, so this is book 2 of that. It's just simply the hardcover, no spray painted edges. I'm not sure if I wanted spray painted edges for this one. Yeah, it's just a plain hardcover with a pretty sleeve around it, which is fine. This one matches the version of the Crimson Moth that I own anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And then finally, a book that I'm probably gonna read pretty fast. It is A Drop of Corruption. This is the second book to The Tainted Cup. I loved The Tainted Cup. It was so refreshing for me to read fantasy with like Sherlock Holmes vibes, but then different because it's in a totally different world building. It's a murder investigation in book 1, but a lot more of the world building happens in book 1. So I'm very happy that I didn't have to wait too long for book 2. This is very high on my want to read list. I might even read this book before it hits the shelves on my TBR shelves, because my haul pile is staying in this room, so like at the bottom of one of my shelves until the 1st of May. Then it's is when I pull them over, because that's also when I take out the books that I've read or that I'm getting rid of, and I really need to do a new book purge. But yeah, it's because I keep buying books and then, yeah, I don't have time to read everything, unfortunately. I really should stop buying as many books. I'm trying to make an effort, but it's extremely hard. I currently have a Waterstones order waiting for me in store, so I'm going in 2 days and I will probably have a Waterstones haul for you after that. So I'm not doing great on my no buy here, I'm aware, but I just love reading so much. I am going to be a little bit harder in DNFing books if I really don't like them, because I've been pushing through a few of the books that I started reading just to finish them, to read them, even if I'm not enjoying them, and that just does not make sense to me. So these are the books that I purchased at Facts Convention the first weekend of April, and then a few second-hand finds. I am going to Waterstones in a few days, so I'm kind of scared that I will have a Waterstones haul for you soon as well. If I pick up more than 3 books, which is most likely going to be the case because I pre-ordered 2 of them that are waiting for me, then I will make a separate video about it. If not, if I only have 1, 2 or 3 books, I will gather more books in May and see if I can make a complete haul video about it, because I don't think it's interesting for you guys to only see a few books with no explanation, because I haven't read them yet. So I cannot tell you what the general vibe is, etc. Now, I can read the info cover, but it's not the same. Feel free to let me know in a comment down below if you've already read one of these books. What did you think about it? And of course, have you bought any new books recently that you want to share with me? Because I would love to know. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. And of course, if you haven't already and you'd like to be, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I make new videos every week and I would love to hear for every single one of them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye!